Good morning, Denbo-Crichton School community. Welcome to Denbo-Crichton Elementary School, home to 850 plus kindergarten through 5th grade students and close to 150 staff members. My name is Brett Thorpe and I am the principal of Denbo-Crichton Elementary School. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Paul Spaventa, Interim Superintendent, for welcoming remarks.
Good morning. It's good to see everyone. I'm meeting some new faces. I'll take my hat off so you can recognize me. I appreciate all the noise in the background. That's progress. That's the sound of progress. I am the interim superintendent. Again, my name is Paul Spaventa. I am here until a permanent replacement, which the board has undertaken. I have been in many, many school districts. I've met some old friends from the SDA, and I appreciate all their hard work and thank them for all of the communication that they've had with me, and I'm sure with the former superintendent, Mr. Trongone, throughout this project. A lot of people worked really hard on this, and I think when you tour the building, if you have time, you will see that this is one of the most outstanding buildings that I've been a party to see. I've had schools built in Gloucester City and Clementon, and throughout my career, I've had the pleasure of touring some buildings that were built, and by far, this is an outstanding building. I know that you might expect that someone would say that on a morning like today, but I have a truth serum, and I'm actually telling you, this is a phenomenal place. They've done a phenomenal job with the input of all the administrators and teachers, as well as the SDA experience over the years, and I think when you see this building, you will be astounded at its beauty. Secondarily, I will sign off and turn it over to Mr. Brett Thorpe, the principal. There will be introductions that come along, and so I thank you again for the privilege of serving and the honor of being here for this ribbon cutting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spaventa. Please join me in welcoming Pemberton Township High School junior Diane Ionescu to sing our national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Diane. That was beautiful. Before I turn the microphone over to our speakers, I would like to thank our past and present Board of Education members, administration, and staff for their leadership during the construction of this magnificent building. I would also like to thank the past and present members of the School Development Authority for providing the students of Pemberton Township School District with a state-of-the-art learning environment. Thank you to our Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Jeff Havers, for his guidance over the last few months as it relates to our new building. Our Assistant Principal, Ms. Cordelia Sullivan, has been phenomenal during this transition, as well as the many staff members, including our secretaries, custodial staff, aides, food service staff, security, and administration. Thank you to our teachers that continue to go above and beyond for our students each and every day. Last but not least, thank you to our students and families that continue to persevere during this pandemic. We collectively are the Denbo-Crichton Wolfpack. We are excited for the opportunities that lie ahead and look forward to taking this journey together as the DC Pack. At this time, please join me in welcoming Mr. De Silva, School Development Authority CEO.
Good morning. On behalf of the governor, our board of directors, our SDA team, congratulations. Welcome to Pemberton community, to your new Pemberton Elementary School. Although this may be different than celebrations in past days, this is the reason we do what we do at the SDA. It is an honor to join you today. We know that this community has eagerly awaited this day. We have too. The SDA is thrilled to share in your excitement for the completion of this new state-of-the-art educational facility that will be transformative for the students of Pemberton. Pemberton's young scholars deserve educational facilities that will help them learn and thrive on their path to academic success. Your dedicated teachers deserve classrooms and resources that will help them bring out the best in their students. The new Denbo-Crichton Elementary School provides students and teachers with the facilities they deserve. I also want to highlight that this school was delivered with one-to-one technology, which in these trying times is very valuable for the students and the teachers of the elementary school. Pemberton students can dream big with success to access state-of-the-art classrooms, a technology lab, a computer lab, an art room with a kiln, inviting play spaces, and more. This school also demonstrates SDA's commitment to building energy-efficient buildings that consider the surrounding environment, and this school is on its way to be a USGBC LEED certified building. When appropriate and in line with the district's reopening plan, more than 900 students will occupy this beautiful facility with innovative spaces that will foster academic excellence for generations. Those students will join more than 1 million students across New Jersey that have benefited from SDA facilities and this administration's work. The opening of the new $126,000, $58.7 million Denbo-Crichton School delivers on the administration's commitment to students in Pemberton and across the state of New Jersey. This school is an example of what can happen when stakeholders from various entities come together to make positive impacts on the lives of New Jersey's youth. We appreciate the partnerships with Pemberton School District, officials, and legislative representatives to bring the project to completion. So I want to thank Governor Murphy and his administration, the Pemberton School District officials, Superintendent Spaventa, prior Superintendent Trongone, school board members, those that are here today and those from the past, your city officials, Mayor Patriarca, and city council members, members of the legislative district, Senator Diego, Assemblywoman Stanfield, Assemblyman Peters, and our state partners, the Department of Education, specifically Commissioner Deemer and his staff, the DCA, the Department of Treasury, and the EDA. NJSDA's important construction work was deemed essential by the governor. And with that, I want to thank our construction partners who helped us, or who made this successful and helped us deliver this school. So I want to thank Endersbach and Sons, Inc. I want to thank SSP Architectural Group and Cambridge Construction, Inc., the construction managers for the project. Although I am standing here today and taking the success for the project, it is really not me. It's my staff, it's the organization that was able to deliver on this wonderful project. Specifically, I want to thank Andrew Yosha, Joe Lucarelli, who take the lead of the teams. Other people such as Denise Petraglia, Kay Bramble, Joe Smansky, who is not here, and then there's other people the silent few that are back in the office that don't get to come into the spotlight. Richard Sherman in Design Studio, the accounts payable people, risk management, and so many others that help make this a success. So thank you. In closing, to our students, who I see are over there probably a little cold, we built you a beautiful facility. We hope that you enjoy it. We look forward to seeing you develop and succeed in this world. And I want to thank everyone, principal. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. De Silva. At this time, please join me in welcoming Mr. Patriarca, Mayor of Pemberton Township.
Good morning. Well, Paul stole my first line. I stepped out of the truck and I heard the sounds, and anyone that knows me in my office will tell you that we don't stop at one project. We move to the next and we continue. And that sound is exactly that, the sound of progress. I'd love to hear that. I have a shopping center they can come to next if they want. It was so great to come here today and see so many faces that have been so instrumental in this project from its very beginning. And sitting in the back, Pat, I can't go without recognizing you. I know you've been there from the start. Tony, you fought so hard for this. There's been so many. The list goes on and on and on. And for that, I thank you on behalf of the residents of this community, because we see what we've been able to accomplish. I would be remiss if I did not thank the SDA for their continued support in our community in helping providing the best education to our students. We've seen so much come from this organization that it's you know, without say, the best benefit that our students can receive, a safe environment to learn. And I believe we have that here today. So all the board members, I know you guys, you hear me come to your meetings. I tell you all the time that, you don't get enough credit for what you do. You volunteer your time to represent our students and continue to find ways to make our system better here in Pemberton, and you're doing that. This is a perfect example of that. So with that being said, on behalf of the residents of Pemberton Township, I thank you for this, all those that have been involved, and I look forward. I did not come back to this project since the brick signing because I wanted that wow factor. I wanted to come here and say, oh my God, it is that fabulous of a project. And yeah, I was the kid on Christmas that liked to go down and try and find the presents before anybody got there. But this one I held off, and I've heard so many comments from residents of how this thing was progressing. So I had some idea, but I really held off, and now I am excited to see this thing through and take this tour and see this facility. So again, thank you for all you've done, and again, have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Patriarca. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Wilson, Board of Education President.
Good morning. First and foremost, I want to have sincere gratitude and thanks to the SDA for their building this brand new, beautiful, state-of-the-art building. Without their support and focus on Pemberton and the growth of our students in our community, this would not be possible. So first, thank you for everything that the SDA has done. Also, I want to thank the past, present administrators that have helped build this project from the very beginning. This is not just a 2-year deal. This is not just a 2-year deal. This is not just a 5-year deal. This was over a decade in the making. These types of projects take time, hours of dedication to define the need, to communicate the need, and to make it happen. And it goes as far back as Ms. Pat Austin as our business administrator, Dr. Gorman at the superintendent at the time, and Mike Pinto, our public relations person at the time. It goes that far back. And has since all the progression of administrators from over time to Superintendent Trungone, Mr. Jeff Havers, our current assistant superintendent, Dan Smith, Mr. Smith for our current business administrator. Everybody along the way has had a hand in making this dream ultimately become a reality. And ultimately, you know, that gets us to where we are today, a brand new building. And as big and as grander as this building looks like on the outside, we all know it's the people on the inside and the activities on the inside that are truly going to make a difference in our community, right? This building is just a shell of the possibilities of what's to come. So I want to thank Mr. Thorpe, Ms. Sullivan, Mr. Havers, of course. They're going to be monitoring the activities that go on within these walls day in and day out to ensure that the students of this community take full benefit of what was given to us. And we're forever grateful and appreciative. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Havers, Assistant Superintendent for Elementary Pre-K through 5th grade, for closing remarks.
All right, good morning. I hope the sound of progress is quiet when I'm up here. I like it, but I feel like Mr. De Silva, they purposely, Joe had something happen. He gave him a signal so that they would rev the engines when you came up, so I'm not sure. There are a lot of people to thank, and I know many people were already thanked, so I want to continue. I don't want to be remiss in missing anybody. But first, I want to thank the students for attending, coming out in the cold to be a part of this process and this ceremony, and hopefully you get some great pictures and some wonderful memories that you can look back on for many years. Because really, this building is about you, and not just the three of you, but many of you. Mayor Patriarca, thank you for all your support throughout the years in the process. Pat also, I know, was mentioned, and Pat advocated for this for many years. When I started, this project was in its infancy, but in its infancy in terms of looking at construction plans and stuff like that. But there was a lot of work done ahead of time, so thank you. And Dr. Gorman, who I never really had a chance to meet, I know was also very much involved in that process. Mr. Trungone, thank you for all your support in the process, all your advocacy as we marched through the last 5 years. Mike Pinto, there have been many long meetings and discussion about the building. I can even remember when we meticulously numbered every single room together, right? And we redid it. Dean Adams for his work in terms of transitioning the building. Dan Smith, Mike Procopio with the technology. As Mr. De Silva said, it's one-to-one. It's extensive technology. There's a lot of work goes into that. Mr. Bowen looking at the security operations. This really has state-of-the-art security features that are very important, and so he was very active in that. Jeannie, all your support, not just with the ceremony and wiping things down and making sure the flag stays up, but the farewell video to Denbo, the video to the virtual tour of the building, so a lot of work involved in that. To the Board of Ed. The Board of Ed members, past members, for the support. I'm glad to see Mr. Alker is here, and I know there are other members that were involved. We have President Wilson, Mr. Wilson's support. Vice President Maldonado is here. Mr. Bauer, board member Mr. Mayer is here, and send Granny our best. We wish she was here as a past board member to be involved. And Mrs. Knox is here, so thank you all for coming out, and thank you for your support. And our special guests who were a part of the Denbo-Crichton past, that are inspirational for the Denbo-Crichton future. We have Mr. Green here. Mr. Green, when we were, when we were looking at the hallway colors, because every hallway has a special color, Mr. Trungone said, we want to make that hallway going down to the Jim Green hallway. So think about that when hopefully you take the tour and you see that the gym is also green. The DeClemente family, I want to thank you for coming out. I know your father started in 1980 to 2006, so many years of dedication and service. His plaque his picture is hanging up in the kindergarten, first grade hallway. I know that he was, it was very important to him, the concept of early childhood education and starting early and making a difference early and setting up the foundation. So hopefully when you tour, you'll be able to see his picture there and reflect on that. So the SDA, Mr. DeSilva, you mentioned a lot of people. We are grateful. I'll be honest, sometimes I complain about the state too. But I think that the people that I have worked with the SDA, and I had the privilege of working with many, were just, I would say responsive is the first thing I can think of. Whenever there was a question, they were really quick to get back to us. We had an idea, they really did their best. Sometimes, late in the game, idea about moving the bathrooms, and the architect goes to work and with a smile and comes back and has a better plan for us. Attention to detail. There was a change we were going to make, and all of a sudden, I hadn't talked to Rich in months, and all of a sudden, I get a call from Rich, and he's like, well, we were doing, if you remember, we were doing it this way for these reasons. Just the understanding. We had Haynes for 3 years as a school, and we wanted to make that a school, and you were willing to do that. Right? You were willing to make sure we had a quality school at Haynes for 3 years for those kids that were there, and there was a lot of work put into the Haynes. Joe Lucarelli, Denise, Clay, wonderful people. Rich, Cheryl Wolcott with the furniture. So a lot of people were very active and involved in this process. There were so many teachers that were involved. We had teachers that would help us do the layouts of the classrooms. We had faculty meetings. We would come back. We had teachers that were involved in designing the art room, the library. We had a furniture committee, and our furniture committee was the best. Matter of fact, we went to meet with Cheryl, who's a wonderful lady at SDA. She said she'd never had a group send stuff ahead of time before and already had what they wanted. She also was nervous about that. She didn't like that. If you know Cheryl really already had her own ideas in mind for us, and she helped steer us, I think, in a really good direction. And then last minute, really in the game, last winter, when we were at the furniture committee to do the selection of all the furniture, and everything you like, I picked that out, right? Some things you may not like. I could give you the names of the 3 teachers on that committee. I told them I was going to put their pictures in the faculty room so that anybody had any questions, they can go talk to them about the furniture. But in that meeting, we talked about the idea that we were in the process of reconfiguring, right? These were preschool classrooms. This was pre-K to 5, and it adjusted all the furniture. And so with that realignment and reconfiguration of the school and bringing 3 schools into one, I'm grateful that you really worked with us to make sure that could happen. Otherwise, we would have misfurnished, right? We'd have furniture that's not the right furniture for our kids. So thank you for that. And a special guest for me is Mrs. Kadaki, former teacher at Denbo School. When I had her, she was Miss Avila. That was 40 years ago. It made me think, because I saw Mr. DiClemente start in 1980. He was here at Crichton. In 1980, I was a 5th grade student over at Denbo. And so this is a special honor for me to be a part of this process. 40 years later, I would have never have thought. Again, this is a beautiful school building. It can house 930 students, right now 850, but it can house 930. It has a cafeteria, it has a gym, it has a multi-purpose room, all with state-of-the-art sound systems and projection theaters. Most of our schools have the dreaded, Mr. Green, you know this, the dreaded cafetorium, right? Gym teacher's least favorite word, right? So it has a beautiful playground. Make sure you take a look at the playground. It's bright, it's vibrant. There's an outdoor soccer field there. There's an outdoor classroom. Currently, it can house 6 kids in COVID world, but eventually we'll be able to do 25, 30 kids in that outdoor classroom. Gorgeous media center upstairs, right above us. It's bright, it's airy, it's open. It's a great furniture in that room too. I picked that stuff out. FN system in all the classrooms, above head. Larger classrooms than in most of our school buildings. And again, enhanced security features. And I can't tell you what they are because it's secret, but they're there to protect us. Again, this is a beautiful building. I think Mr. Wilson said it really well. It's a beautiful building. And for a month, that was a great idea, Mayor Patriarch, to just wait. I couldn't, right? I'd walk around. I got in trouble with security a few times over the summer. But I would come in, I'd walk around, I'd peek through the windows and make sure there's a phone in the nurse's office, right, Joe? But this is a beautiful building, but until kids are here, it's like an office building. And so I'm excited because we're going to bring kids in, and then it's going to become a school, right? Right now it's a building, but it's going to become a school. We're going to have students here. They're going to make it lively and vibrant. They're going to hang pictures up. They're going to learn. And I'm excited for that process. We're going to have the future Mr. Greens that are going to welcome all their students like you did, right? And include everyone. We're going to have future Mr. DiClementes and Mr. Thorpes who are going to be here to lead with character and with high expectations so we can have kids that are not just smart, but good people, good citizens. We're going to have future Aletta Crichtons that were gave people compassionate care. We're going to have future Mr. Denbos, who were the country lawyer, right, who gave back to the community and served. And we're going to have future Mr. Gadeckis, who are going to inspire their students and challenge them to do their best and to be their best. So thank you all for coming out. I am excited because, again, we are at the point on Tuesday. Right now, on Mondays and Wednesdays, we have maybe 25 kids, but that's not enough. So Tuesday, I'm excited. Thank you all for coming out, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Havers. Mr. Lucarelli just got my text to fire that cement mixer back up. But thank you again, Mr. Havers. This concludes all of our speakers for this morning's program. At this time, we will do the ceremonial ribbon cutting. Please come forward. Thank you.